Amiya. Hello, everybody. This is your Dreamweaving Ami-sensei. Your Dreamweaving spider teacher. Ami-sensei, substitute teacher Ami. Hello. I will be taking care of you guys today. In place of a regular teacher. I have an appropriately teacher outfit. What do you think? What do we think? Yes, hi guys. Welcome in. Yeah, it's cute, right? I was very fortunate to find this one. Because it was not easy to find. It was not like, I don't even know what keyword I used. I think I just randomly stumbled upon it. It's the only one that is like this, so I like it with a name tag and stuff. I can also carry books, but you know, that's more of like a student thing. And also I think the shadows are like broken, you know, so no books for me. I'm just gonna be normal. It's not a bear. If anyone can find something on Booth, it's you. I'm constantly browsing Booth, you guys, constantly. Teacher or librarian? I mean, a librarian. Sometimes in some schools, librarians are also teachers and teachers are also librarians. You're not gonna get detention. You can't just request detention. You have to do something that's deserving of detention. And none of you guys have done that yet. So yeah, Booth is a tough website to navigate. Even if you know Japanese, you know I'm the Booth Prairie. Don't misbehave. Stop. Don't. I'm warning you, okay? I may look nice and kind, but I will not hesitate to shove you in the locker. No, just kidding. Something worthy of attention, you can do that. Those are paper play with a note that says I'm cute. Don't sit gum under the desk. I can't handle that. Teacher, I'm cute. Stop, this is inappropriate. You're my student. Yeah, hi everyone. I will hand you a bad test paper facing up. That's right, I will not pick you in heads up 7-up. Alright? That is what I will not. Are we too distracted in class? In a class taught by Ami-sensei? No. You guys are gonna be... I will have your utmost attention in a moment. When I start talking about consoles and stuff, because it's fun and it's interesting and you guys are gonna like it. Do I have to bring the teacher a sugar cookie instead of an apple for this class? I don't want an apple. How am I gonna eat? If you want to bring me an apple, how am I gonna eat them all? You know, I'm gonna eat 147 apples. Really? You think that? I can't really eat 147 cookies either, to be honest. But you peeking heads up 7-up? The Google Stadia is not on this presentation, but something kind of similar is. I also got oh yeah, I can give you a full here. I can give you a full shot of the fit. It's kind of scuffed though because I didn't fix it up. What was I gonna say? You forgot to give us homework. What do you call the one like nerdy kid who's like what's the trope? The one nerdy kid who's like, you forgot to give us homework, teacher. You can make them into one giant. Oh, I like an apple pie. Yeah, it's like Melvin. That's it. You're Melvin. Yeah. Let me show you the. It's I didn't get rid of the like you know I don't like how it looks from the waist down really, so I didn't even bother getting rid of my little leg warmer things because I was like, it looks less teacher from the waist down and more student, which I'm not a fan of, you know. So I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it like this. The shoes are kind of cute. They're like Mary Jane's. If it's not the same, I think I know which one you're talking about, but I don't want to potentially spoil things. It's alright. I also got didn't peek, but I could tell who picked you from Smeel. Shut up, I'm the teacher. I smell nice. Teacher's pet? Well, yeah, but there's like a specific name, and it is Melvin. I didn't even have my corset piercings or anything, which I normally would. I normally would. Yeah, pantyhose would be good. Sadly, maybe I can like change it. I'll have to check the usage you know, guidelines of the outfit on Boost. Let's see here. So, I think I will avoid hellos today, you guys, just to spare my throat because I'm gonna be talking a lot. This is the only hotkey, by the way, so no need to worry. Yeah, a long skirt would be nice. Casual Fridays, keeping the leg warmers and slippers on if I'm wearing. I mean, at least I can still have the spider legs, right? Yeah, hello, hug is in order. Something appears in your hand, I'm so triggered. You guys think it's a bear? You think it's gonna be a bear? No. Today I'm gonna teach y'all about some failed consoles. So it should be interesting. I did a lot of research for this, and there's about, I think, 10 I'm gonna go over. I did get some suggestions, and they were good suggestions, but actually have pretty much all of them in mind for a later presentation. So if your suggestion doesn't show up, that's probably why. Drop the bear. There's no bear, it's just books. You guys can't handle a couple books, you know? I'm gonna replace it with a clipboard or something. It's not Spider Girl Anatomy books. Is it not because it's easy to call them names like Smelvin? I think that's just like, you know, I feel like Arnold is a better name because Arnold, well, no, Arnold's not really a teacher's pet in Magic School Bus because, I had all of them. All the what? Because he would go on the field trips, you know, if he was a teacher's pet, but he doesn't like them. Yeah, he just wishes he stayed home. They're adversaries. Arnold and Miss Frizzle are adversaries. He's a teacher's adversary, not a teacher's pet. Welcome everyone. Yeah. Let me finish off my coffee. I only got a tiny bit left. That's the exact amount of books you can handle. What, 2? I can't even handle 1, to be honest. Miss Frizzle is just tormentor. Yeah, I mean, Arnold is a mood, you know, the older you get. Dorothy Ann was probably the yeah, Dorothy Ann was definitely just pet. Tim was just, I feel like Tim was just very smart, you know. She keeps trying to leave him behind on the trips, but he's too clever. She tried to abandon him. Arnold, your parents are paying me to make sure that you disappear. Neo Geo Pocket was good, but it was bad for marketing. Yeah, there's a lot of cases like that with these consoles. You guys will see there's some pretty common reasons that a console will, you know, fail. Which I'm going to talk about, and I will also say that well, that's part of the presentation, so I'll just leave it for now. But you feel like the Magic School Bus being Arnold's fever dream was a fan theory at one point. There's a fan theory about literally every like children's show about it being like, oh my god, Angelica's in a coma and she's just Angelica's in a coma and she's just blah 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 blah. Is Sega in this presentation? No, because none of Sega's consoles were failures. That's not true. But no, there's no Sega in this presentation. I found some weird stuff. You guys will like it, I think. I tried to find some stuff that's not so super common, while finding some interesting stuff. So, those theories are the worst. It's like every theory. The Wii U won't be on this list. It's too iconic. Did you just call the Wii U iconic? It's so not iconic that I didn't include it in this list because it's just not that interesting as to why it failed. I'm such a Nintendo hater. I'm sorry. The Wii Switch. Alright. Let's get into it. Hi. Is that one North African education console? I don't think so. Alright, so the Splatoon and Xenoblade X machine. Right. It's Professor Ami. I'm Ami sensitive, but yes. You can call me Professor, you know. Wii U has one good game, Xenoblade Chronicles X. What about? I don't know. Nothing. I don't know. I can't name another game on the Wii U. Not like Nintendo made a worthwhile console since the GameCube. Whoa! You don't like the DS? Conduit? I don't know what that is. Dr. Professor Ami, can we during the presentation? Sure, just don't chew too loud. Cue a 1,000 buckles going. 1,000. Well, that's a little. Yeah, Ami still console thingy. I have no idea why this thing looks like this. It's like. I don't know why it's like all crunchy. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Well, is that an exclusive though? You learn the wrath of everyone over the age of 60 with their Wii's with that language. What happened? Starts passing out gum. Stop. Just don't smack it loudly, okay? And you guys can eat whatever you want. I'm not gonna keep you guys from eating. I'm not gonna keep you guys from drinking, you know. Just don't disrupt the class. Wind Waker HD. I guess that's a Nintendo exclusive. Having a web console is perfect emblem of a failed platform. A web is not web, it's just I don't know why it turned out like that. Freaking Canva. Vita isn't a failure, is it? Some people would consider it a failure probably, but I don't have it on today's presentation. Are you ready to see what I do have? Anyone bring a Foreman grill? Foreman grill? You can change to say back and forth on 3DS, and that was cool. That is cool. I'll give it that. That's cool. Alright. So, let's learn. Okay, so what makes a failed console? Okay, I feel like this is pretty obvious, but just because a console is a failure from like a sales or like marketing point of view does not necessarily make it a bad console, although some of these are bad consoles. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, and you might even see a console that you like on this list, which, you know, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but we're mostly talking about you know, sales or like time on the market, things like that. So there's lots of different things that can cause a problem with that. The marketing of it, there's a lot of bad marketing stories. A lot of companies just don't know their like target audience for the console they want to make. There's a price. Some of the prices are too high at times, especially for what they are and for the market, and compared to competitors at the time. And then some of them are hard to develop for, leading to a smaller game library, which makes it so that it's kind of a failure in that way. It's just like, oh, it has 10 games, so, you know, that's not that cool. Bucko's really into the Ouya, preparing themselves for heartbreak right now. The Ouya was crazy when I looked into it. Spoiler alert. But isn't the KFC console like a computer? The Vita was well received in Japan. I mean, it's good. I like the Vita. Dreamcast failure had more to do with Sega past mistakes catching up to them. Yeah, there's a lot of past mistake situations in here too. I was just thinking of the PS5 when I was preparing this presentation, actually. I was like, I wonder if that, like, looking back, if we're gonna... It's current gen, so it's hard to say right now, but I wonder if we're gonna consider that a failure or something. There's some that were failed because they got really close to release, but for whatever reason, they were just never released. That I would consider a failed console. I have one of those. Or they're pulled from market very early. So, doesn't necessarily mean that's bad. I'm not trying to school on your guys' you know, consoles that you like, or whatever, you know? Alright. And we're starting off with the Atari Jaguar. Wow! Wow. So it's, of course, an Atari product, and it was the first, or at least it was marketed as the first 64-bit system ever. And, you know, technically it was, but I'll get into it. So this was released in 1993. So to put that in context, it was around the same time as the Sega Saturn, video, things like that. And it also has a separate CD attachment, and there was a planned standalone console. I forget the name of the cat they were associating it with, but it's always a cat of some sort, you know. And then I don't remember the name of the cat, but if you guys remember, you can let me know. And then oh, It was the Atari Jaguar Duo. It wasn't called anything. It was just called the Duo. I do have it written down. Why am I like that? The Lynx? No, the Lynx is something entirely separate. Which I will also talk about. So a couple factors as to why this failed. First of all, the way the system worked and the way companies had to develop games for it was kind of strange and kind of like not something people or developers were able to contend with. So it's a pretty complex system, and to be honest, is not so unfamiliar. The Sega Saturn had a very similar like what do you call it, like architecture inside the machine. The Jaguar though had what it called Tom and Jerry chips. So there was 2 different chips, and there was a total of 4 different processing units on these chips combined. So on the Tom chip, you would have had the GPU. I don't know why they called it Tom and Jerry, but in the Tom chip, they would have had the GPU. There was an object processor and a blitter. And on the Jerry chip, there was a digital signal processor for audio. And additionally, there was another chip, a 3rd chip in general. There was the Motorola 68000. So to break it down, the numbers. Chaos Engine was one of your favorite games as a kid, but on the Amiga instead. Well, this, I'm going to talk about it, but this is actually a homebrew port that was put on the Atari Jaguar, because that's what people are doing nowadays. It's kind of a little bit of a resurgence, but yeah, in the Tom chip, the GPU component was 32-bit, and then there's an additional object processor that was 64-bit. So now is probably a good time to explain to say what bits are. It's referring to, when people say bits, it refers to data width, right? Like how much data can be transferred at one time. Yeah, do the math. 64 better than 32. And then the Jerry chip was 32-bit as well, and the Motorola CPU was 32-bit. So essentially, there were some 64-bit components, so they called the console 64-bit. But for consumers, especially in that time, when they were, selling these game consoles, people did not understand bits in that way. It was mostly represented in changes in sound quality and graphic quality. So the Atari Jaguar being touted as 64-bit, this didn't really translate when those things, when it had a similar look and feel to other consoles that were not 64-bit. So that's just from a marketing point of view. The architecture of the system also did cause problems developing games as well. So developers would have to figure out the best way to manage the different tasks that the game would be doing across the different processors and the different chips. But Atari did not make this easy because they did not have sophisticated developer tools, and they did not have any good developer support for this. So compared to the Sega Saturn also had many different processors. Actually, I think it had more than the Atari Jaguar even had. So it was a very complex system, but they had a lot more support for their developers. So although Sega Saturn wasn't like crazy huge, it was there was a lot more support and a lot more developers made games for it. Motorola chip was 8-bit and had to talk and queue tasks for the 32 bits. There you go. We are obsessed with bits, and to be honest, the audience did not really understand what bits were. They just understood at that time what bits were marketed to them as, and more bits meant better graphics and more and just better because math, right? But they said do the math, but it just didn't translate into how the console, the games on the console played or they looked. Technically there was some 64-bit stuff going on in the console. They took a bold chance with their console and missed. Yeah, and it's just the fact that it's so hard to develop for, and it was also let's see. And that's before we get into the main CPU being 16-bit. In the Jaguar. You mean the Motorola one? The bit explosion was over by 32-bit, really. People still run many 32-bit games today. It's true. More bits, more fun. People with better graphics equals better games. Yeah, which I mean, you know, maybe that's some people value that in a game, but okay, so yeah. In the end, so what happened? That you know, what was the result of the failure, right? Well, console's still looking and sounding great despite being so limited in tech is a real cool part of these presentations. Yeah, and you guys will see, I have a video of this homebrew game. It's really cool what people are doing for it nowadays. I think this one was released in 2023 or 2022 maybe. But near the end, the Jaguar just did not perform as well as Atari expected. And then according to their 1993 annual report, this was due to a couple things. It was due to delays in software development. And what they stated is competing systems that made it so the Atari Jaguar was not able to carve out a niche in the market, even after they greatly reduced the prices. So in the recent years, like I was saying, there's been a resurgence of the Jaguar because indie developers are retroactively making games for the system. So I have two videos. One of them is an actual Jaguar game, and then one of them is the new one coming out. Now, you would think, well, maybe the developers nowadays doing homebrew for it, maybe they did, you know, make good use of the technology in the system. But you will still see that it doesn't look any more impressive, graphically speaking, than the SNES, for example. So you'll see in a moment. It hit its stride, sort of. And if you search like Atari Jaguar developer tools online, there's a bunch of GitHub. I didn't look too much into it, but it has quite a iconic homebrew scene nowadays. So here is one of the games. This is Club Drive. So now this, you see, has very, very simple polygon graphics. So this would have been a game that would have came out at the time. This music is insane. Oh, Sandy, thanks for the super chat. I'm looking super scholarly today and also cute. Thank you. Alright, so that's this game. It's that's basically it. And you get to drive in different areas and stuff as well. Despite growing up in the 90s, you never heard of consoles like the Jaguar until you were a teenager. Yeah, that's how bad the marketing for some of these things were. Would be an 11 out of 10 game if you can honk your horn, and it goes, what is the there's like a common horn sound. Yeah, Resident Evil basement core music indeed. Okay. Oh my god. A pirate talk? Question mark. Anyway, and here is one of the homebrew games. This is Chaos Engine by the God. This video is freaking intro. This is Chaos Engine by the Bitmap Brothers for the Atari Jaguar. And this, I think, is just a kind of like a port of a game that exists, but someone put it on the Jaguar, so that's cool. Wouldn't the devs see limited sales on their games because not everyone has a Jaguar? The devs probably, I would assume for the most part, I have not checked, but I think people are probably just making these games available to people, you know? Will you see me playing a game called Clock Tower? At some point in my VTubing career, I'll probably play Clock Tower, yeah. Anyway, here we go. So that's the Atari Jaguar. So interesting one, and I guess if you guys have ever seen the AVGN episode on the Atari Jaguar and the CD attachment, I guess it's hard to find a working one, specifically the CD attachment. So yeah. The amount of games whose devs expected sale was negative too. Yeah, I think they're just doing it for the love of the game, you know? Can we hear the trumpets again? Oh yeah, and the controller is very strange. It has like a number pad. Yeah, listen to this. Wait, this music is piano. It's kind of cool. Let's... Came out a year before the PlayStation, so it was doomed to fail. Yeah, pretty much. Actually, the PlayStation is a super interesting story too, which you guys probably heard of. Everyone's probably heard of the story behind the PlayStation at this point, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I'm playing Pokemon Gen 3. I was wearing it as a kid, but Atari sounded like old person system. Yeah, I mean, Atari's heyday was really around the 2600, which was, you know, a very primitive looking in terms of the games. Didn't Jaguar games come with overlays for the controller to tell you which buttons did what? Some of them did, yes, some of them did. Oh, there was a member milestone. Sorry about that. Golden Slaughter, thank you so much for the 14 months. It's been a while, Spider Mama. Super busy lately, but glad to be able to come by today. I hope you and the vocals have been well. You've been very well, Golden Slaughter. Thank you so much for coming. And good to see you. So yes, let us continue. Next, one of the ones in the thumbnail, we have the Apple Bandai.
Amiya Aranha.
Salta said thank you for the 8 months and the pats. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm a teacher. Atari Jaguar CD won't work. Your friend bought a brand new Jaguar CD when he turned it on one time and played it, and the next day the add-on doesn't work anymore, even though it's new. To be honest, for old hardware in general, being new is not necessarily gonna be a good thing. It's like the same idea as, like, you know, if you have, like, let's say you have an ATV, right? And you use the ATV once, you would think, oh, there's barely any wear and tear on this. So, you know, if I use it once and I leave it for 2 years, then come back to it in 2 years, it's gonna be in perfect condition, right? But that's not really the case. And that's probably not the case with hardware as well. Sometimes things sitting and not being used is not good for it, you know. So dolls get stabbed if they're old. Yeah, I mean, that's just an example that I think most people will understand. But like, yeah. You never hear that anecdote? I know a lot about this stuff because a previous job I have, but you know, it's a similar situation. A car is probably a better example. It's the same idea with a car. Like, if you leave a car sitting, not using it, it's not gonna be good. So it's not necessarily, you know, helpful if something is brand new, if it's like 30 years old, right? The console's library consists of Super Marathon and a bunch of educational games. Yes, so the Apple Bandai Pippin is a very interesting one. So yes, Apple did make a console, and somehow this is the case. Somehow they made a console. So this is a Bandai Pippin, and it is a joint venture between Apple and Bandai, and similarly to the PS1 and N64, it was a 5th gen console. So a very competitive space to be in. Yeah, it's that Apple. Yeah, the Apple Macintosh Apple. You never heard of this thing? It's very esoteric. And yeah, the boomerang controller is cool. The controller gives you knockoff vibes. I know, right? It looks like fake. It looks fake in some way, like AI knockoff, you know, Mad Cat. But very competitive space that this console is in, so you can probably see where I'm going with that. But it was released in 1994 in Japan and 95 in North America. And the Pippin used basically a stripped down edition or version of the Mac OS system. 7.5.2 specifically is the one. And it used the same PowerPC 603 processor that was used in Mac computers at the time. And it could also connect to the internet, which is pretty unusual for a console of that time as well. And originally, Apple had intended to essentially license the technology out to other companies so they can make their own consoles using the Macintosh technology. What year? 94 and 95. Yeah, G Kitties, of course I am an adult. Yes. But then when Steve Jobs came back to Apple, he asked for their work on that console. Well, you know, that's probably, to be honest, that was probably the right choice. But yeah, they're going to license it to other companies that can make their own consoles using the Macintosh technology. And then they struck a deal with Bandai, who approached them with the idea of releasing a console. So they ended up teaming up, and then it was later licensed out to other companies for share in other markets like Europe and Canada. And then yeah, the controller looks very, very modern. I'm surprised, but like similar consoles of that era, they unlike similar consoles of that era, the GPU that it used was a VGA GPU, which was underpowered for the time, but the CPU for the system was what would handle the graphics rendering and processing, as well as it used Apple's Quick Draw and QuickTime software. And then we can take a look at how one of the games looked as well. This is called Racing Days. I don't know why I chose another racing game, but yeah, CPU graphics rendering on a console. Neat, right? In an alternate reality, Bandai released the PS5 and Sony is almost bankrupt? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But QuickTime flashbacks? Yeah, so use QuickTime, but let's just watch this video of this game called Racing Days.
Week over Racing Days.
There's a
But
dude
the
talking,
game doesn't
but
actually play like a racing game. The car doesn't really have any sort of physics or mechanics that make it feel like you're actually driving. It kind of just turns in increments, and it really
just turns
feels
in
like, I don't know, more of a first-person shooter engine that they decided to put
so
a
this is the
racing
game.
game
This nice saying
into.
it feels bad.
But the drive
Play.
distance isn't bad. I mean, you're seeing all these different polygons, all
They're
these
fast way to
buildings
show
and the
console's power, I
billboards
agree,
moving
yeah, because
around,
it shows like the
and it's
rendering
showing that the
speed
Pippin
and
was
things like
capable
that,
of
and I
pushing
mean,
polygons around,
yeah,
even
it
if it didn't
does.
have, you know,
It
a
does render
dedicated
things.
GPU to it. Some of the textures are odd, like when you're in the tunnel, it doesn't really have any feeling of forward momentum. It feels like you're
That's what it
just
looks like, kind of cool, right?
stationary. And I think that's my biggest issue with
But
the
again,
game is
in a
that
very
it
competitive
really doesn't
space.
feel like it's moving that
So
fast ever, and it doesn't give you that sense of speed and forward
sorry, don't you put like
movement that you're
Subway
looking for
Surfers in the
in a
corner?
racing game. So that's a little bit
It looks
disappointing.
good,
but
right?
I think it was
Driving
more of a
Doom is a great
graphical
idea.
showcase
Ooh,
for
I
the
wonder if there's a
Macintosh of what these
Doom
developers
like a
could
WAD
do.
like that.
Clearly, they weren't great at making
Sometimes it feels like
driving
you're going both
games,
too
but as
fast
far
and
as
too
pushing around a lot of
slow.
polygons
I
on a
think that probably
CPU
just comes
and
down
making it
to
all
the
run
controls.
relatively fast, it definitely is an
Like
accomplishment.
you can look like you're
But the
going fast,
unfortunate
but
part of the
then
game is it
if
only
it's hard to
comes with
control, then
3
you know,
tracks. So
feels
even if it
bad.
was a great game, you're still not
Two
going to
guy
get
holding a
much
car dashboard
longevity out
in
of
front
it,
of his
and it
face.
is a
Sorry, I
video.
just realized there's me and a guy in a video talking at once. It's probably very distracting. Never really knew about these particular consoles despite playing a lot of older consoles. And yeah, there's some deep cuts today. So, I don't think Doom was ever released on the Pippin, surprisingly enough. The Pippin also had internet capabilities. It's driving a high-speed Roomba, yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to talk for so long at the same time. You wouldn't be shocked at a Doom fire. Maybe for next Doom stream, you can check it out. I mean, you guys and your regular teacher, check it out. You know, but looks like these super cheap dashboards you see in the early 90s, not a race car. I mean, maybe it's not meant to be a race car. I don't know. But anyway, it had internet capabilities, so very, very strange for a console at that time. So you could browse the web. You can just mute the video. I mean, you've seen all we need to see. I didn't think. No, I definitely thought of that. I just didn't. I just forgot that it was playing, I guess. What format did they use for games cartridges? This would have used CDs. It was a CD-based console, and in fact, one of the web browsers available for it was on a CD. So, I thought Sega Saturn was the first console that used the internet cable. I mean, I'm not saying that this was the first. You know, just that it's one. So, Yeah, you can browse the web, and it can also play CDs. So it was meant as more of a multimedia device, like many things were at that time, and it resulted in being used for other things than games, like edutainment. It was even Bandai at one point even struck a deal with some hospitals to use the internet, and they would look up case studies and data, and they would collaborate with other doctors and things like that. So check on the people in your web ring. Yeah. Maybe send an email. I was not able to confirm whether it can send an email, but pretty sure someone already ported Doom to the Pippin unofficially. Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody retroactively went back and did that. They make people play this so they go peacefully. No. They would put other software on it that doctors. Console could still be used today in Japan if things have been different. I mean, well, that was in Europe, the hospital thing. Maybe they're still using it. I don't know. Having a built-in modem for the time is nuts. Yes, you don't have to buy a separate peripheral or anything. It's built into the system. And that was probably one of the factors, including it having a bunch of computer components, basically, that made the price tag very, very high. Playing racing days as I do brain surgery. Don't do that. When the computer at that time did the same thing, it would do the same thing but better. Yeah. But you know, they were trying to break into the console market. So yes. The price of this was very egregious at the time that came out. It was $600, and if you compare that to the consoles that I was competing with which is the PS1 and the N64, those were $300 a piece. So the in addition to that, the game library was very small, and the games, most of them are not specifically limited to the Pippin. And its identity as a system was just not there. It was murky, you know. Someone on a random forum 15 years ago said you can't port Doom to everything, and then someone else took that really personally. They were like, watch me. Well, it's on the Casio Lupia. Okay, get on it, random forum dude. Eh? So going for a high price today, even, well, I mean, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Any unit that has low sales like this is going to be, you know, is going to be expensive nowadays. But $599 US. Yes, sir. So yeah, very murky. Couldn't decide whether it was meant for multimedia games or browsing the web, or, you know. So its murky identity combined with its high price and its very, very competitive market at the time was what made the Pippin fail. Alright. I know you guys want me, this thumbnail, I know you guys want me to talk about this. That would be the 10th ultimate achievement of your game dev. Me putting it on the loop. I would love it. A lot of failed consoles made the same mistake of having too many features that drove them up in price, not enough games. Yeah, specifically like all this multimedia stuff is like people in the 90s were so obsessed with multimedia and having one tool do everything, you know? And yeah, like you said, it drove up the price and just made it. I mean, it was also an Apple product, so that drove up the price because, you know, Apple just charges things arbitrarily, I feel. But so yeah, the Ouya, I don't know how to say it, but this is a bit of an anomaly compared to the things that we're talking about today, in the sense that it is much more recent. Hit the jackpot with PS2 having a DVD player, though. Yeah, you just gotta pick one thing. You gotta pick one multimedia thing, and then no, like the PlayStation 1 also being a CD player. No. Ouya. So, you might even remember its original Kickstarter campaign, which was actually very, very successful in 2012. It raised $8.5 million. And you might ask, how did it end up being a failure despite that amount of funding? And there's a couple of reasons for this, and the reasons for this are very unusual when we're talking about comparing it to other kind of consoles that I'm gonna I already mentioned I'm gonna be mentioning later. It's a very unique case. So this is a video game console. It's not a PlayStation, it's not an Xbox, it's not a Nintendo, it's not a whatever, but it came out in 2012. So let's talk about what the niche of the console is. Some might say it's a bad idea. I would agree. Like, I feel like if you just think about this for a minute, you're gonna be like, did the CEO go on stage to tell people there's nothing special about it or something? So, okay. I'll get into, like, the marketing and stuff, but, it's unique because it combined the idea of mobile games or having, like, an app/game store. You can download games with being a home console. And additionally, the idea that anyone could develop games for it provided... The idea was that anyone could develop games for it provided that the games were free to play, or at least free to play for a period of time. So this seemed interesting to people, I guess. So the console was relatively expensive when it launched at $99, which is a good deal. You only remember this from being reamed on so hard, nothing else really. Yeah. More scam than console. I mean, it wasn't a scam, but its audience is I feel like, you know, gamers are gonna buy consoles. You know, normies aren't so much gonna buy a console. And this is really a console for kind of, you know, normies. Or at least that was the idea. So, technologically, not that impressive compared to even the most underpowered console at the time. Which, you know, was the Wii U. But to be fair, it wasn't really meant to fulfill the same roles as those consoles. So it aimed to be more of like a casual gaming experience, and the low price compared to other consoles made these differences make sense. It's not as good, or not as technologically spec'd up, so it's not going to cost as much money, right? This doesn't work anymore, but you definitely got your $100 worth. Yeah, I think people use it as like an emulator box, basically, a lot of the time now. I think if they changed some of it, it could have worked, but comparing it to the consoles at the time was a mistake, especially when you can't hit that level of power. Yeah, it's a very different experience. So, the premise sounds like it could work. Yeah, phone games on a TV. It's not a bad premise. And in fact, their marketing even poked fun at these other consoles because games at the time, you know, were $60 a pop, and then for an additional $39 if you can get a whole console and have a bunch of free-to-play games that it has to offer, then that seems like a really good deal, right? But tale as old as time, the developers were not all that keen on making games for it, and the casual gamer market wanting to buy into a console instead of just using their phone that they already had was probably a hard sell, especially considering the games were mostly ports of other mobile games to begin with. And apparently the build quality was evidently not that great, although I don't have one, so I can't say for certain. But yeah, let's watch this ad. It's very gross, as you can see from the thumbnail. Now you're paying more than $20 for a video game, folks. Alright.
60 bucks?
Medal of Duty, okay. I guess it's a combination of Medal of Honor and Call of Duty.
Exactly the same game! Oh, God.
So he's lamenting the price of the game. His room is filled with vomit. He's pulling his spine out of his body. He's being... So stop wasting cash on crappy games, is what it says. Very disturbing, right? Yeah, lovely. Looks like an Adult Swim post 12 a.m. cartoon. Yeah, they were like, let's do an edgy commercial. Let's be edgy. Another strong point was the boot up time. At the time, PS360 generation was kind of slow to boot, load, update, and whatnot. Sure. Okay, so yeah, I was just gonna say Ren and Stimpy, but I think that gets further than even Ren and Stimpy did. But yeah, that's what things, you know, maximum edgy. So let's see here. Oh, so to their question, yes. It's a very 90s ad for 2013. I mean, that kind of stuff had a kind of a resurgence in early 2010s, I would say. And it got even crazier. We want to sell to normies. Anyways, here's a commercial that's 50 years too late. Wonder if we made a follow-up once the game started dropping at $70. Probably not, because I don't think it's lasted that long. But gacha games could have saved the Ouya. honest. Don't know because I abhor gacha games, so I don't know what kind of how much money out of it would have actually went to, you know, the Ouya, but the school counselor, that's also me. Early 2010s is the time of the edgy YouTube animators, right? That's what I was thinking. First part of the console was the Cenobites that summoned and you moved it the wrong way. The controller was good, right? Right. Apparently the controller was terrible. The build quality of the controller specifically was very bad. To their credit though, the creators of the console did try and do something to incentivize developers to make games. Specifically for the Ouya, and they poured a lot of money into this. Or they were going to pour a lot of money into it. Gachas have kind of the opposite strategy. They appeal to the most extreme investors. Right. So yeah, I don't know if I don't know how much money that would have made for the Ouya specifically. You know. The joysticks are way too close to the buttons. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look comfortable. Alright, let's see here. So yes, FinTech's get a good cut of developing for the Ouya. So here's the thing. They wanted to incentivize developers. So what they did was they made a free the games fund. So this was their attempt to incentivize developers with money to make their games an exclusive on the Ouya for at least for a certain period of time. And then they would match the Kickstarter contributions for games up to $50,000, which is pretty juice. The only Ouya exclusive you remember was Towerfall, and eventually they came to their senses. Yeah, and even Towerfall, spoiler alert for a different section of this slide, but that was their most popular game, their flagship game, and it only ended up there only ended up being 7,000 copies of it out there. And then the Ouya was continued in 2015. So even that, the like craziest game that sold the most, just 7,000 copies. So a lot of people who were trying to put products on Kickstarter to utilize this free to the games fund to have their contributions matched by Ouya, as are many people who try to put products on Kickstarter, as history has shown us, they're not very smart. And some of them are downright deceptive, you know. Or like, oof, yeah, got ho. So, shout out to the prince and go, oh my god, look at the kitty. So yeah, some of them are not very smart and some of them are just downright deceptive, scammy. So of course this caused issues because many of the games Ouya was willing to work with had creators that were engaging in kind of sketchy behavior, such as whether it was being overly litigious with dissenters that were commenting on their project, or some people would artificially inflate the funding of their projects with kind of fake backers so that they would receive additional funding from Ouya, right? So, in the end, like I said, the most popular flagship game was Towerfall. Didn't end up selling a ton, and then the console was discontinued. But because it's Android and because the software is pretty open for the most part, yeah, people did put emulators and things on it, and anyone can develop games for it if you want. I mean, I'm sure Doom is on the Ouya, but all kinds of different games on the thing. That sounds criminal. It does, doesn't it? I think a bunch of them ended up getting removed from Kickstarter, but Ouya introduced me to Memory, which is perhaps the most confusing game you've ever played. What the heck is that? Chaos seems so full of people who would never have access to such funds and couldn't handle it or just outright kept the money. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, people who have good ideas maybe, and then I have people who are willing to invest in them, who are just people, you know. They don't understand business and they don't understand where the potential problems can lie in whatever kind of project they're pitching, or even what kind of people are like behind it to like do marketing and stuff like that. An Ouya store is still community maintained. Yeah, it's kind of cute how much people love their Ouya. Like, I want one now. Here's $20. Please do a business. Kansas. I didn't say anything about Kansas. You never heard of it till the internet made a meme of this console. I think I vaguely heard of it at the time that it was on Kickstarter, but I was like, eh, you know. Backing stuff on Kickstarter is always a crapshoot. I don't know about always. I mean, I'm sure there are some like trusted people who, but I mean, even that, wasn't there some situation with like Mighty number 9 or something that was like a game developer that people trusted, I thought, and then something I didn't look into it. I'm just recalling this from what you guys have told me, but I think that kind of went terribly wrong. So even if it's like a successful person handling it, it's not always a good situation. Yeah, that was a whole situation. But that was misplaced trust in Inafune. Yeah, but I mean, my point is that you can have a name that's associated with some successful thing, and it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be again, I don't know the specific situation, but I'm just saying the problem with Kickstarter in general. It doesn't mean there's necessarily going to be a good result, I could do a cardboard on Kickstarter. That would be interesting, actually. Kickstarter games and stuff for consoles that went terribly wrong. Ooh, that's a great idea. So Neopets TTRPG on Kickstarter right now. See, I find that so interesting because I guess Kickstarter is a pretty common place for TTRPGs to go. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how much money do you really need to start a TTRPG, right? But I mean, I guess some of them need, not all of them are just on like a single piece of paper, I guess. Maybe it needs dice or I don't know. Inafune Mania was all over the place until Mega Man 9 actually came out. Or, sorry, Mighty Number 9 actually came out, and people treated the guy like the second coming. Yeah? Oh, before you mean. People weren't really aware of the challenges of doing anything back when Kickstarter got popular. Yeah, they were just like, I have an idea, and if I have money, I can do it. But that's not necessarily the case. You do it and send physical stuff to the backers. Usually, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The art can be expensive. Yeah, go check it out. Alright, so yeah, that is the Ouya. Because people seem to really want me to talk about it. What makes me other companies who clearly have means and a mature product but still go to Kickstarter for startup funds? Yeah, it's like, okay, just no, you don't need a it feels a little icky and deceptive, right? Because it's like, it's meant to kickstart things. You remember one got canceled because the sun melted the stove? That's so sad. But also, you just have something that the sun, you just have a thing that him just melt in the sun. And you left it in the sun. Alright. Next up, we have the Casio PV-1000 and PV-2000. So you guys know Casio, my beloved, okay? I love my Casio Loopy. It's the cousin of the Loopy. It's actually the predecessor to the Loopy, but I love my Casio Loopy, another failed Casio console. And they did a console before the Loopy, yes. And they also, I believe, produced some, like, I think the MSX was a similar situation to, like, the Apple Pippin, where Apple was, like, going to license out the hardware. Was MSX not something similar to that? Like, different companies could make their own version of the MSX, essentially, and add hardware and stuff as they would like to kind of enhance it. I think Casio ended up doing that with the MSX. But as far as consoles that they made, this is the only predecessor to sorry. Looks like a competitor to the Commodore 64. Well, I'll give some context to that. So, it's kind of amazing that they went on to make another console after their first venture into, unless you actually played these so-called failed consoles, you should hold off on judging. I have played... Okay. First of all, I am the Loopy goddess, okay? And I will judge it all I want. But also, that is not a thing. That's like saying you have to be that's like saying, do you know who I am? That's like saying you have to be like a chef to know whether food tastes bad or not. No. And you probably also missed what I said at the beginning about a console having failed in the market doesn't make it a bad console. So I preface this all in the beginning, and you just came in and you made an assumption without listening to it, and that's fine. But listen to the rest, and you will see that I actually know what I'm talking about. And I do own many consoles, including many failed ones. So all right, you guys, just listen, okay? Somebody came in late and they got shot, and now everyone in the bar is still drinking, continuing drinking their drinks. It's different. It's a different situation from being a bad thing. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I feel like a real teacher right now. The Dreamcast counts as a failed console. I have a Dreamcast. It's my favorite console. Okay. Well, aside from the Loopy, but which is also a failed console. My two favorite consoles that I own are both failed consoles. You get me all riled up. I didn't just fall off the turnip wagon yesterday, okay? Okay. So, this is before they made the loop. Suffice it to say. And their first venture into gaming consoles, the PV-1000 and the 2000, is released in 1983. So it was an 8-bit console. And this makes it a 3rd-gen console. So this would have been in line with around the release time of the NES and the Sega SG-1000, which is the precursor to the Sega Master System. And you've owned a 3DO? Son, I also have a which I would say, you know, it has its charm points, but is it a good console? Yeah, I love it. People are being so aggressive to me today. I guess sometimes this happens with these presentations where people sign you're getting so aggressive. Or sometimes random people come in and they like don't know anything about me and make weird assumptions. Yeah. So in terms of visuals and audio, the NES really trumped them both. Both the Casio one and the Sega SG-1000. The NES trumped them both with its 5 sound channels compared to the 3 sound channels for both the PV-1K and the SG-1K. And it had a higher resolution, and it had more colors than the PV-1K and SG-1K, which had 8 and 16 respectively. So it was less powerful than both these other consoles, and relatively speaking, it was a later entry to the market by a couple of months. So they were kind of just too slow, and it kind of snowballed into developers being reluctant to make games for it. And it was discontinued less than a year later. They just decided, no, we're not putting our eggs in that basket anymore. They cut their losses, and I was at the console release party. No, let's not go that far. Throwing the PV-1000 under the bus so she doesn't have to use Loopy in the presentation. You guys know all about the Loopy, okay? But the PV-1000/2000 sits in a similar spot. It had 15 games, but only 13 of those games were actually released. And then there was an additional 11 for the PV-2000, which came out shortly after. And there was no backwards compatibility. So when you think of something like the Sega SG-1000 and the Sega Master System, the Master System was backwards compatible with the SG-1000 games. So, you know, that was pretty cool. But the SG-2000 had no such, or the PV-2000 had no such capabilities. So, just, you know, just too late, and not quite as good as its competitors. But here's an example of some games you can play on the system. Thank you, the Large Layer. I think I used this guy's videos twice in this presentation. This is PV-1000 and 2000 games, so it's both. Amidar. Oh, and there was ability for 2 players. There's a second player controller. Oh, I love this music. 3 channels, guys. Three audio channels. It's Dig Dug. It looks like Dig Dug. The one thing they made in the 80s is the DG10, DG20, a really cool digital guitar. Oh yeah, and I think they used some of the cartridge capabilities that they had designed for the PV-1000 and 2000. I think they later used it in, I mean, it is Dig Dug, but it's not called Dig Dug. I think they later used it to, in a keyboard, so that you could, like, you know, put the cartridges in the keyboard and you could learn music with them. Anyway, this is like Donkey Kong, I guess, and then all kinds of different games. Pretty rudimentary, but oh, Pachinko! It was called Dig Dug. Oh, was it? I thought it said Ami. I thought it was Ami something. Hold on. Go back. It says Amidar. Oh wait, never mind. Dig Dug. It said Dig Dug for like literally a split second. I missed it. Look at this. It's literally like less than a second. Beep, 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 beep. I like the... He's more. Amidai is a better name. I agree. Anyway, that's what the games are like. Ouya. So... Oh. The new outfit is so good. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you guys liked it? You guys like my new teacher outfit? When you're paying more attention to the presentation than the teacher, why are we getting bullied so much today? Okay, give me 1 second, you guys. I'm gonna take a restroom break. I'll be right back. Can you guys please just be good and do not stick under the desk while I'm gone, okay?
Love.
Hello, you guys. And I'm Amiya. I am back. Thank you very much to Heart and Lupus and Lazim and Gento and Finite Set and Riding Soul and Peppermint for the blue super chats while I was gone. Thank you for rewarding me for taking a bathroom break. And thank you guys for behaving while I was... Who put this on my chair? Who put this piece of paper that says Impact Zone on my chair? Someone was also sitting at my desk. I can tell it. I can tell. Something is out of place. Who put that pencil in the ceiling? Okay, no one's going to recess until somebody fesses up. Come on. Come on. Who ate a nuclear bomb and who put a nuclear bomb? Yeah, that means you have to stay. Which one of you broke my chair? Which one of you broke my chair? Well, stop squeaking now. Thanks for waiting, guys. Alright, so that is the PV 1000/2000. Yay! It was already... No, it was not. You wrote Gullible on the ceiling. Who made the teacher look like a fool? Dibs on what? It was not you. Okay, well then don't be sad. Wait until she finds the whoopee cushion. Oh, I found it. You broke the chair last week, don't you remember? No, I don't. Scup ate your nuclear bomb? Well, that's probably the best. Scup's body can handle it and the rest of our bodies... Okay, so... Udane, thank you for the super chat. It's you ate all the glue. I didn't know that happened, but... Okay, it's fine, it's not toxic. Dibs on detention with Miss Aranha. You guys, you don't want detention. Come on, it's a bad thing. It's got manufactured differently. Well, I don't know, maybe some of you guys can too, but... You know. You all want to try and eat one. You put tape on the bottom of your teacher's optical mouse? That's a good prank. More like glue, Dare, got him. Listen, the ceiling said Ami wasn't the best sensei and had the pencil coming. Oh, well that's... Yeah, that is unacceptable. Regular Ami came back when you were in the ladies' room and said you should all give us a 2 on Tuesday in her place. That would be highly inappropriate for a teacher to do. You're gonna have to wait for your regular teacher to get back. You're selling fake test answers, so they should have at least been genuine. You shouldn't sell fake or genuine test answers. Kids are bad. You can absolutely spell detention without attention. Share some letters though, you're right. Alright. Next up is... How many slides do I have left? There's just 4 after this? I don't know. Alright. Talk about the Virtual Boy! Known and loved. Everyone loves it. Nintendo, though, being a titan of the market to this day, is no stranger to failed consoles. And it is also no stranger to gimmicky consoles. Again, similar to today, to nowadays. Just looking at this console gives you a headache. Yeah, me too. I would definitely not be able to handle this. Selling bogus answers can create a teachable moment. This is not an after school special. This is your education. This goes as far back as the 90s. The 3DS is an example of a console they made with a gimmick that worked well and it sold well. But most of you probably know that this is not their first foray into quote-unquote 3D. And, or, you know, as they erroneously marketed it, virtual reality, right? So, now in the 90s, there was a huge phenomenon of virtual reality and gaming companies trying to utilize it. I actually did a whole presentation on early VR systems, a whole separate presentation. If you guys are interested, I think they made it look like the Terminator on purpose, but I could be wrong. It does look like that inside. It's like all red. Imagine buying a VR device that can only... What is wrong with me? That can only display shades of red. You remember messing around with this at Toys R Us? It was hard to use for what it is. Yeah, I played it at a Super Potato, and it was not. You guys know James' channel? So, red is a very extreme color. It's true. It's true. So, the Virtual Boy is an example of this virtual reality phenomenon. Someone trying to capitalize on it, right? And it's not quite handheld, but it's not quite a full-size console. And you would basically put your face up to these goggles, but it's not a goggle that you strap on like with VR goggles of nowadays. You just kind of press your face up to it. It's on a little stand, and it has a controller attached to it, which has 2 different D-pads, and it's attached by a box in the back. And the reason you had to put your face right up to it is because of the type of 3D it used. So it used stereoscopic 3D for its virtual reality effect. Virtual or free laser eye surgery? Why not both? Why not a migraine and virtual reality? You wish you had one of these, but you like being able to see it. I kind of want one too, but it's not worth it. The game library is just not there, and it's hard to play, and I can't even streamline, so I can't even claim it on my taxes, you know. It's like being at the eye doctor, but it's actively making the eye chart harder to see. So yes, they use stereoscopic 3D, which is different than the other popular type of 3D at the time, which would have been the red and cyan glasses. If you guys have gone to a 3D movie back in the day before, you know, the modern 3D with like the sunglasses thingy was a thing, it was often these red and cyan glasses, and there would be 2 images created with 2 slightly different perspectives. And then one you would see in one eye, and the other you would see in the other eye, and then your brain combines it into a single image, because that's how our eyes work. When you're looking at something, you're not seeing 2 separate images in each eye. Your brain combines them into one, so it doesn't feel like you have eyes. You know, it feels like you're just looking at one unified image. So that's how this handled 3D. This system has the international debut of Shin Megami Tensei. Yes, with what's it called? No, it's not Jumpin' Jack. It's Jumpin' Jack. Is it Jumpin' Jack Flash? Is that what it's called? Anyway, yes, it had Jack Frost on one of the games, which I don't remember what the game is called. Jack Brothers, that's it. Jumpin' Jack Flash. Jumpin' Flash is a really cool PS1 game. I did not discuss Zeeble, no. It was always the same tennis game. Yes, the Mario tennis game. Seeing how VR works these days, will come full circle back to this soon enough. Save the neck pain, maybe. What a horrendous way of doing VR. It really is. It really is. And Jumpin' Jack Flash is a Rolling Stones song. Right. The one game AVGN did not play. He actually played it later on. It was added to the special features of the DVD, but he actually did get the game later on. Okay, so yes, the Western debut of Shin Megami Tensei that like literally no one played because the game was so rare anyway. And your brain combines the stereoscopic the 2 images into one single image, and then it makes it seem like there's some 3D depth to it, although in reality there's not. So now this sounds like it would be hard on your eyes, and of course it would be, because your eyes are constantly having to adjust to the different perspectives and adjust their focus. And also, in the case of the Virtual Boy, your eyes are like literally right up to the thing, which is going to cause eye strain in general. You're told not to sit too close to your TV, told not to sit too close to your PC monitor. Shut up, chair. And then the display was entirely in bright red and black, which was very high contrast and contributed to the eye strain as well. It's not a Mega 10 game for Virtual Boy, but it featured Jack Frost and maybe other Mega 10 characters. I don't know. Jack Frost and Jack something else. Yeah, don't sit close to your monitor when you watch me, guys. Your head hurts just thinking your eyes trying to view this thing. Yeah, it's not a pleasant experience. So the Virtual Boy struggled in one huge way, which, like a lot of other consoles we're going to talk about, is the game library. So to make use of the 3D gimmick, of course, the developers would have to make games specifically with this gimmick in mind, and specifically for this console and nothing else. So it would have had to been entirely exclusives. Engineer making this. This gives me headache, migraine, and eat kitties. We need more time. Publisher, perfect. Ship it. Was it eat kitties? Pyro Jack. That's the other one, yeah. We only stare that strongly when you get embarrassed. I never get embarrassed. So, yeah, it resulted in having to be entirely console exclusive. So, on top of that, not only did developers have to find a way to utilize the 3D gimmick, they also had to develop games that would display two slightly different images at once, which, depending on what effect they're trying to achieve in what game, that could be a lot more work than just developing a standard 2D game. So, it was a gamble, even though it was a big game like Nintendo. It was a gamble that not a lot of developers wanted to take. And also around this time, Nintendo kind of pulled out kind of early, and they started favoring the development of the N64 at the same time. So there was a lot of factors combined, but it's weird to think there's a direct pipeline from the Virtual Boy to the creation of Futaba Sakura. You just mean like, I mean, I wouldn't say there's a direct line. You should see our radio teacher, Miss Ami. She's blushing all the time. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Playing games through Virtual Boy definitely caused headaches. Thank goodness you didn't know on this. Yeah, me either. And although I would have loved to, but to be fair, if I did own it, I probably still would not have it today, because I probably would have gotten rid of it at some point, or my parents would have. Can't imagine why they focused on the N64 with this, right? No, that was a smart move. So the lack of games and also the $180 price point were a big factor in the Virtual Boy's failure. The Virtual Boy is a mask, if you think about it. I'm a shapeshifter. Let this masquerade. Please don't take off my mask, revealing God. I see where you're going. I see what you're doing. What the virtual Ami would look like? Well, when I sample some Virtual Boy games, which I do intend on doing at some point, maybe I'll do that. Yes, so, the 3DS. Recently, there's been a Virtual Boy emulator, for the 3DS. So this allows you to see the games with the 3D capabilities, and it also allows you to change the colors, so you don't have to stare at a red and black screen the entire time. And also, you don't have to have it right in front of your eyes, which mitigates a lot of the problems. For some reason, this is not something that Nintendo themselves tried to do, probably because they didn't want to invest that much development time for the 3DS into such a small game library. So, I mean, it makes sense, but a little bit surprising because it actually did really... It does work. But let's take a look at the games on the Virtual Boy. Now this person is just filming through the viewport of the Virtual Boy, so it's a little blurry, but yeah, try that emulator. I haven't put it on my 3DS yet, but I do want to, and I do want to do a stream of it. I think that'd be so cool. Alright, let's take a look.
It's the Virtual
James
Boy.
channel.
Really
It's the
like
Virtual Boy.
I think it's really underrated. Could have done a lot better. The marketing probably fell over for it, and it was pushed out too soon. All that sort of stuff.
Remember the Virtual Boy? Are we doing anything with that? Could you imagine they try to bring it back nowadays? Instead of the Wii Switch 2.
It was on the market for 5 months. North America
Which
got
I have a
14
feeling
games.
is going to
I've
be a
only
Wii U
got 12 of them. Japan got
situation, but we
19
will
games.
see.
Worldwide, there were 22 unique titles. This thing had what's called stereoscopic video. Each eye gets given a slightly different image to make things look truly 3D with real depth perception. VR headsets, 3D cinemas, that
Can you
sort of
guys hear
stuff
it?
all use stereoscopic imagery. The Virtual Boy takes 6 AA batteries, which fit into a battery pack that clips onto the back of the controller. It's not the only thing that makes the controller unique. It has 2 D-pads, and it's completely symmetrical.
Oh, good.
L and R buttons on this are round, like the front buttons. They feel pretty nice too. The power switch is actually on the controller, not the console, which makes sense because that's where the batteries are. Battery life on this thing is about 4 hours, which
love
can get
music,
expensive
eh?
in a hurry. Nintendo thought of this though, and sold an adapter tap
Oh,
separately,
it's a battery
which allowed you
adapter.
to
Okay,
use
let's see the game, sir.
This has some excellent 3D effects with the ball, which you won't be able to enjoy any of because I can only record
Because the
one
Wii U
side of the
situation,
Virtual
that
Boy,
isn't
and you can
Nintendo's
probably
fault.
only
People
play one side. There are
understand
really only 2 characters
PS5.
worth playing in Mario
What do you mean
Tennis, and that's
people
Koopa
understand
and Toad.
it?
That's because they can dive for the ball, and no one else can.
6 double A's, that's
Until that
right. In the 90s, we thought this was normal. Yeah, actually, another handheld
Now,
console
the
I'm
Virtual Boy is
talking
another
about
system with a
also
really unique
takes,
display. This one's
you
not
know,
entirely for the better. The games are completely monochrome
You know.
in black and red. There's a good reason for this. It's because the Virtual Boy was too early. Nintendo made a color prototype, but it was going to be way too expensive. LCDs at the time were awful. They were either super expensive or had crazy motion blur, which made things almost unplayable. So they went for a weird LED display. The way this display
Red was
works
the
is it has
cheapest.
one vertical row
So that
of
answers the
LED
question as to why it was
pixels. Then
red.
It has mechanical mirrors, which
They were trying to
oscillate
cut costs
really
in their
fast
defense,
to spread
but
them across your field of view. If
they
you
know
put
it
your ear
after
up
the
against the Virtual Boy
PS4.
when nothing's playing, you can hear a very
I'm
faint hum from the
confused.
mirrors moving so fast.
Two different images that your brain combines. Yeah.
Very far
And
in.
yeah,
The
so we'll give you a
control scheme is
headache.
pretty cool. You've got a D-pad for each hand, and then you punch with the L and R buttons.
This is
It's
like, I
also
guess, like a
really
twin
good
stick
example
game,
of
which
the
is
depth
kinda cool.
perception, which you can't see for reasons mentioned earlier. How's he charging up his moves?
Typing rev is necessary. Somehow Runny really does. I mean, no,
I
not
didn't do it.
necessary for the technology or anything.
In
It's just
1995, there was a
it just kind of, is money. I mean, with the price point though, $190, I understand them wanting to cut costs whatever possible, but probably should not be cutting costs in like that kind of way. If people can't tell the Switch 2 is the sequel to the Switch, I don't even know what to say. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. I just don't know if people are gonna think it's different enough to want to purchase it, but I'm not the target audience for that, so I do not know. No. Why not just show the same image twice? Because then your eyes are just seeing the same image and it's overlapping them and nothing happens. The punching game, Tellero Boxer, I think it's called, does look like the coolest one out of pretty much all of them. So it's a cool looking concept. Certain stuff lends itself well to 3D, like the boxing game. Yeah, and then certain stuff they just didn't bother. Like it's like barely 3D. So certain stuff did not utilize it very well at all. So yeah, If it has dual screens and can survive a bomb blast, and the Switch 2 is a huge upgrade to the original Switch on top of all that added tech to it. I mean, listen, I'm not saying anything bad about the Switch 2. I don't know anything about it. It's not even out yet. As far as I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is an example of something that is just, I think, was just a little bit too ahead of its time. The technology did not match up to, the ambition, which is the case for a lot of these things. Alright, so okay, I'm talking about this because people always ask me to talk about the Soulja Boy console, and I thought I would take this opportunity to do that. But honestly, there's not a ton to say aside from the whole story behind it being pretty funny. So the biggest thing about it being that Soulja Boy decided that instead of making music and making money off of that, or doing some other thing, making an energy drink, doing Pimp Juice or whatever, like whoever did Pimp Juice did. He thought instead he would do some cockamamie get-rich-quick scheme a la Kramer in a modern episode of Seinfeld, and he decided that he would resell a Chinese emulation console with his name on it, or actually several Chinese emulation consoles with his name attached to it. So, because there's a million other emulator handhelds out there that don't get flack for the same thing. Well, because it's not weird if you know exactly why it got flack. So let's see here. Where was I? Which I will get into, but that's exactly what this is. It's an emulation console, and it had ROMs of games from existing older consoles like SNES and Neo Geo, among others. And there were several different SKUs of this product, including a few handhelds, and there was a full console version as well. And Nintendo, of course, did not like this. So they were like, hey, Soulja Boy, knock it off. And at first he said Nintendo ain't gonna do meow. But spoiler alert, Nintendo was gonna do meow. So he took it down. He pulled the products, and there's since been 4, I think. But I thought I cut shots because he was trying to say it was an emulator or something. No, that's not really why. So the people who were criticizing Soulja Boy for this were saying, in my opinion, you know, rightfully, that Amiya Aranha found out. Yeah, never call Nintendo on that. Nintendo, I like you, okay? Don't sue me. In my opinion, rightfully criticized that the product seemed a little bit scammy because it was just rebranded emulation devices that already existed in the exact form at a cheaper price point. So if it was, you know, if he was just taking it, putting his name on it and selling it, you know, that'd be one thing. But he's of course a great deal. So the console and handheld sold for $200 and $150 respectively, and their original counterparts could be found on, you know, AliExpress or Alibaba or whatever at the time for like $50 to $100, and probably even cheaper nowadays. So I guess Soulja Boy, for whatever reason, was not expecting people to find out about this, since probably his core market of influence is probably pretty separate from the gamer audience. But found out. So I have a video of what it looked like. Nintendo ain't gonna do boom, yeah, and then he got bonkoed. Foolish fool, liking Nintendo won't stop them. Okay, what about I don't think I've ever done anything to anger Nintendo that they know of that they can prove. Anyway. A lot easier to sue Soulja Boy than some random shell company operating out of Shenzhen. Right. Meow the law, man who's meowed by the law. Alright, Soulja Boy TRDR Pocket Review. So this, I think, is one of the later products used. And yes, spoiler alert, is identical to an unbranded
Here's
emulator
a review that's
console.
been almost 3 years in the making. Right, Soulja Boy?
Yeah.
Got my
I'm not
hands on
Soulja
one of
Boy.
his consoles. It's not even the one I
They
paid
don't
for
call him
either. I still didn't
Nintendo
get that
because
one.
they wouldn't do it so true.
It's time for the review. Skip it up and that up.
Thank you. Okay, this video is insane.
Does the Soulja Boy or Soulja game saga go way back with me? If you remember many moons ago, back in
that back there?
2018,
that
he tried to
Gaben?
put out consoles. That was his first attempt.
Let's get
And then
content
he got
ID'd.
cease and desist letters
Possibly.
sent
I'm not
to
gonna
him
show that much of it
because
though.
he had a bunch
so
of games.
here, let's
I
just
don't
look.
even know what that means. All right, oh my God.
Here's the game.
Officer, stay away from my holes. Stay away from Dad's holes.
Jesus.
Ah! Oh my God.
I just want to see some of the gameplay. You know what?
Officer
We're gonna
He's trying to explore my...
we're gonna mute that. This happens like every cardboard presentation speech. At least it's milder than last time. That's enough of that. But yes, this is one of the newer. Yeah, great commentary. What do you mean by that? He was talking about like, well, he in the universe of this game. I'm very familiar with this game. In the universe of this game, having holes in your jeans is illegal because it's associated with hooliganism. So, the cop was going to take a look and see if he had holes in his jeans, and if he did, he was going to. I know I'm so unlucky with these videos. And if he did, he was going to get in a lot of trouble. So that's why he's running from the police. Yeah. It did have a touchscreen. And, like, it's not a bad little handheld. Got Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, or sorry, Ritual of the Night. And it's not a bad little handheld, but it's just not. Soulja Boy did not invent it. He just sold it for more money. So, all right. Can't deny that explanation, right? Isn't that smart? Alright. Use video to not hear anything sus. Proceeds to explain in detail. I did. I explained something normal. It's the brand name, yeah. He put his name on it, you know, assuming that, you know, nobody knows of this product, but if I put my name on it, I'm Soulja Boy, people know who I am, and then maybe people will buy it. So my Spider-Mom knows the lore of Subway Surfers. Yes, the problem that people had was not that it was bad, but that it was marked up from a device that people could already buy. What is that even running on? Isn't that modern? It's a Unity game. I guess it's probably maybe Android or something. I don't know. Soulja Boy later worked in his workshop designing his own console by hand just for everyone to joke about it, so he played it off as a scam. Could you imagine? It does look slick, yeah. It's a nice little handheld. Not bad for $50, which is not what he sold it for. But if you step back from how comical it is, you realize how rock bottom scummy it is. Yeah, and this is really, like I said, I included this not because it's like super interesting or anything, but because it's pretty funny, but also not. It's not good, but it's kind of funny, right? You shouldn't put his name on the playdate since you have to crank that. Oh my god, you're so right. Oh, I kind of want a playdate. It looks really cool. It looks cute. It's like a system with it's like you know, just two colors that has a little crank. And some of the gameplay integrates the crank that's on the system. It's cool. Soulja Boy with a little console of his own on his own out of wood. How dare you? Not wood. Not wood. Yeah, time to get out of my hair. So now no one can ask me about the Soulja Boy console ever again. No, it's really cute actually. Yeah, like fishing or photographing stuff. If you guys want a Brutal Moose did a video on it that I really liked. If you guys are curious, but you could just said he was a major sponsor instead of laying claim to the console games and console itself. His fans would have still bought it. I mean, he could have just like added. You know what? Take the console. Here's what you do if you're Soulja Boy and you don't want people to accuse you of being a scammer. Okay. You take the console, you put it in a box, and you put something else in that box. Maybe if you're Soulja Boy, maybe you can put, I don't know, a signed photograph, CD, a sweatband, you know. Maybe taking suggestions from chat, post cardboard. I just thought of one. Yeah, we can talk about some. I love Bruno too. Yeah, his videos are great. There's at least like 6 different Soulja Boy systems now. Yes, there is. I mentioned that. A wrist strap with his logo on it. And then does that justify an extra, you know, $100 or whatever, $50? No, but I mean it's something. It's not just repackaging a product, right? Exclusive Soulja Boy games on it that are easy to uninstall. Put Soulja Boy bloatware on the system, like a spring stink to pop out and scare them. Yeah, you could do that. That'd be worth $50, you know. Okay. So, that's the Soulja Boy console. And now I never talk about it again. Okay, so this one is cool because it is. This was actually never released. But it got very, very close to being released. And I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to talk about it. It failed insofar as it was never released. Right, so you did get very close though. It was intended for release in 1981. And then this would have been a very early handheld system, although it's pretty larger than most handhelds you would be familiar with. And it had an LED display, and it had a 2-layer holographic image that would be superimposed on top. Yeah, very 70s video. We're gonna watch it, but I have a couple different videos to kind of put it all together. This is not really an ad. I think it's just the dude like talking, the Atari dude like talking about it. But so this was right before Atari collapsed and split into different companies. It was actually right before they I think you're right about that. Yes. But it was more like a tabletop thing than a true handheld, really. But for the time, 1981, it can be considered a handheld, right? And the way it operated was very similar to, for example, the Magnavox Odyssey. So for the Magnavox Odyssey, the game logic was very slightly altered depending on the game, depending on the cartridge that got put in. And then you would have overlays that went onto the screen that would represent the graphics. So in this case, the game logic in the system, it was very, very simple, and it only changed slightly depending on which game was being played. And then the cartridge is what contained the holographic image. It was just in the form of like a plate or like a little plastic overlay that got slid in front of the game screen. And then that would make it seem like there was more variety and more graphical cool stuff in the games than it actually was. So the system was created, marketing material for it existed. It was brought to the 1981 New York Toy Fair, and it got 8,000 pre-orders. So the reason given by the CEO at the time that they didn't want to, you know, go forward with it was that they had to ramp up production on another gaming system to meet demand for that. So that's what was prioritized at the time. I thought this would be really, really cool if it was released. It's definitely something I would want, a little cute little handheld. Very cute, but yeah. So here's what Atari had to say to potential sellers, distributors of the product. This is in their little marketing thing. Atari is proud to introduce a true technological breakthrough in the world of electronic games. The Cosmos programmable game system featuring hollow optics. Hollow optics is Atari's exclusive holographic technique for creating dazzling, three-dimensional light images of incredible detail and realism. Meeting all factors making E.T. the big of the year. I forget specifically what it was they were concentrating on. There was a specific console mentioned, but I did not write it down. This looks like the game of the future of the past. Right, I'm getting some real retro futurism here. It's cool. I want one. But so yeah, I use this Atari's exclusive holographic technique for creating dazzling three-dimensional light images of incredible detail and realism. And Cosmos is the first consumer product ever to use this technology. Specific features of this system include dual-image three-dimensional holo-optic display, programmable LED skill games with a variety of game cartridges, innovative game sounds, AC power adapter included, no batteries required, 1 or 2 players, tabletop game for convenient access. The consumer has never seen anything like this before. Ultra-high technology, laser-generated holo-optics combined with the exciting interactive games for which Atari is famous. The system uses a partially transparent holo-optic plate in front of an array of LEDs, light-emitting diodes. The player sees a 3D image superimposed over red game figures, cars, missiles, gunfighters, illuminated by the LEDs. During gameplay, the red figures move about the illuminated holo-optic stage under the computer and player control. At certain moments during the game, a 3D image magically changes to indicate the outcome or some new aspect of gameplay. Read it like a radio ad. The holo-optic plate comes in a cartridge which fits in the base unit. Each cartridge, initially, provides a new 3D image and gameplay. Could be yours if the price is right. That voice with this outfit? Oh no. Cosmos is a completely new, totally exclusive game system. The consumer is about to be dazzled with the most startling advance in electronic game technology. Is that what you guys want it? So yeah, the Atari Cosmos. There's a couple of videos. I had to combine a couple of different ones because, so I have like the ad and, it's not really an ad. It's kind of like just a message to potential distributors. And then there's actual footage from, I believe it's the Atari, the Atari Library or something like that, Atari Museum. For there's 2, you know, versions kind of. Not versions. There's basically two copies of this out in the wild, and one of them belongs to I think an ex-Atari employee, and one of them belongs to the Atari Museum. So that's where this video is from. It's not a great video. It doesn't show off the holo-optics really well. So yeah, my brain is also scrambled. That voice into the dorky snorting giggles. Two different well, I don't know what to call it. 2 different units are in the wild, but they're not really in the wild. We know who has them. So yeah, this doesn't show the holographic ones very well. So some people somehow got copies of the original, or maybe even the original holographic plates that were used to make the cartridges. So I have a video of that as well. It shows off the holographic feature a little bit better. So here is the why? Can you play video? I'm never gonna have one of these. Although I also want one. This console would have been made if Amiya was advertising it like that. Maybe. Okay, so these bottom ones are gonna play, but this top one is not going to play for some reason. Hold on. Well, let me figure this out. Oh, you just have to set up a new window capture, which is fine. Have to say sell for the Atari Kramer. Cosmos Kramer. You'll take 6. How about 16,000? There's no test, no. Of course not. May not allowed to be play while it's being embedded. Interesting. Give me a sec. I can capture it here. No, the 70s guy doesn't say anything crazy. I saw the whole dang thing. The whole dang thing. This is not even the right video. Why is it not okay, hold on, I have to yeah. Jerry, the name's the Atari Cosmos. I'm entitled to something. They use my name, Jerry. Gotta find it this way. Okay, there I go. Boop. And then this. Alright, there's that. And then I got this. Okay, and this. Alright. Oh my god, you guys. Almost my freaking shorts recommendations is literally all food. Okay. Alright. Smoz. Here's the video.
We're introducing a new product here, which is we call Cosmos. It's the first consumer product of any kind to utilize holographic displays, which are three-dimensional light images that are created inside this box here.
Props to the team that designed that algorithm. They got me dialed in.
Working on more and more advanced forms of holography, and with the intent of bringing it to the consumer.
He's very excited about the new product, so there's that. Very short video. Looks better than the LCD games for sure. For sure. This guy's very excited about this new product. I mean, he's not a. He's just the, you know. He's an ideas man. He's not a commercial guy. This is. All right. So. There's that video, and then here is one of the actual holographic, like, slide. He's one of the original ones, so this just shows kind of the effect a little bit better. Pretty cool. Chat days tomorrow. Chat days tomorrow. Kind of like your holographic Pokemon trading card game kind of thing. And then the actual game is like this. Why is it muted? Buddy? I tried to unmute it, but oh no. Well, the sound effects are kind of cute, but whatever. Kind of hard to see. Yeah, let me. Whoop. I mean, it's hard to see in general. This video is not great. I just wanted to show you guys how the actual games look when they're played. Pretty cool, right? In 1981, no less. So, it would have been a very cool thing if it was ever released, but sadly, it was schwammeled before it ever went to market. The filter games, but 3D. What's filter games? 3D effect is strong. It looks really, really cool. Yeah. There's a story from around this era of Atari showing off a music theme, and a guy asked them what they were smoking when they made them. One of them said this, and it That's not true. That is not true. Class, do not listen to Sugar House Drive, okay? Alright, next up we have the... is this the last one? Hold on. This is not the last one. There is 2 more after this. Okay. So, the Bally Astrocade. Smoking that meow that formed the Cosmos. A blunt object. Okay, so next up, the Bally Astrocade. The pinball company? Probably. The sniper, thank you for the 8 months. Failed consoles, let's freaking go. So, we're going real far back for this one. This is 1978, okay? And now, just starting with the name of the console. I have the, I smell the stench of failure, okay? What is a Bally? Although, I will admit the Astrocade part of it does sound pretty cool. So, the Bally Astrocade, it would have mainly competed with the Atari 2600 at the time. Which was more, it was more advanced than the Atari 2600, but it was also more expensive than the Atari 2600. And then the Intellivision, which came out 2 years later, which was the same price, but it was more advanced in some ways, and also inflation, in the years that passed would have made it around $400 cheaper at the time that it was released. Pretty bally move, it was. Wood paneling on the console, I love it so much. Very common for consoles of that time, but I love it. Oh my god. Back when Lincoln was president. In fact, I think they used Lincoln logs. I don't know what that means. I think they used Lincoln logs for the wooden paneling. So, yeah, very fascinating, very cool piece of history. So yes, television ended up being more advanced, a little bit later, but also a little bit cheaper. And a second gen, it was a second gen console designed by Midway, and it hit its first hitch with the production of it being delayed. So it was delayed until after the Christmas season. And the marketing for it, again, it was one of these murky situations where it wasn't sure whether it was a home console or a home computer. It wasn't sure what it wanted to be marketed as. And it seemed that Midway wasn't really sure either what they wanted it to be kind of marketed as. Lincoln logs are a wooden toy set like Legos, but for Legos. Oh, okay. It has nothing to do with Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Wooden case made from wood from Lincoln's coffin. Right. Very, very rare, these consoles. There's only so much wood. So, yes. It had name changes at the time. It started off as the Bally Library Home Computer, and then to the Bally Professional Arcade, and then finally, the name was changed to the Bally Astrocade. Bam, 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 bam. Hello, Kinetic. Astrocade is a cool name for a console. We need to bring it back. I like the Astrocade part. I don't like the Bally part. Lincoln hunted vampires. Did he? I did not know. Most sauceless names, yeah. Add some sriracha, okay? But in addition to its confused marketing, the sale of the console was mostly limited to mail orders, and then also computer stores, because it was marketed at first as a home computer at the time. And then in comparison, its competitors were widely available for retail sale, the Intellivision and the Atari 2600. So, in addition to this, it had a lot of technical issues. So, the console would overheat. There was RF shielding inside of the console that made it more prone to overheating. And so it would destroy. It got so hot that it would destroy the console. So if you find a Bally Astrocade nowadays, you'll most likely be having to do repairs on it, because if you use it for any extended period of time, it's gonna go, you know, it's not gonna explode, but well, I don't know, it might. And then it had trouble getting the cartridges to be recognized. So not only were its competitors cheaper and kind of better, they were also less finicky in terms of the hardware. So not a very successful console, although it did remain on the market until 1984. Somehow they kept this thing alive. Yes, question. Good thing they made it out of wood? Yeah, so then you can just throw it in your fireplace, you know. Legend says Peter Moore played this as a kid and got inspired. I don't know who that is. Fire Hazard is your favorite game for this console. What's up with that controller? I guess it's one of the ones with, it has like a single trigger and then a dial that you turn. It's not a vape, it's a controller. Yeah, it has a dial and a little trigger. No. The controllers hurt your brain? I mean, it's not dissimilar from other consoles at the time. I think Intellivision also had a controller with a dial like that, so... And then the Atari was just a stick and a button. Shows the pure power of the Astrocade. It's such a cool name, right? The best part of this console is it doubles as an electronic hookah device. Yeah. So I just have a video of some of the games so you can see what the deal is, what it kind of looked like. Yeah, controllers are very much not standardized, of course, from this era. You can attach a sword blade on the end, hit the trigger to shoot a hit grapple, and soar up to slay titans. It came with the vape juice, and it would have been, the flavor would have been, it was musk flavored vape juice. Alright, let's watch this little video of some of the games. Thank you, Live Slayer, again. The second time I use this guy's video.
I became one of the earliest victims of the great North American video game crash in 1983.
Guess we don't really need the audio. He's talking mostly over it anyway. Musk and gun smoke, yeah. No, it tastes like fire smoke, because you know it's gonna lay on fire. This is some kind of like Space Invaders kind of thing. It's called... I don't know what it's called because it's just showing footage, but here's Super Slope, you know? No translation. I mean, Musk. I don't have a Musk. Okay. Then you got your Star Battle, which looks kind of cool. I will be honest, the 3D effect is kind of compelling. The ad for it on the right, just something about those little video game ads, so good. I know, I love. That's why I included the Atari Cosmos. No, not quite Skyroad. Not quite. You have a pinball. It's Bally Pin. Solar Conqueror. You know, these are the Bally Astrocade exclusives. Okay. Conan the Barbarian. I do too wish they also came with the 80s wood finish. I wonder if you can like get the wooden paneling and like put it on a console. Look at him go. He's going and then Cosmic Raiders. Wow. Wow. And then you spent a lot of time on Cosmic Raiders. Then Mrs. Candyman. Oh my god. Guess like Mrs. Pac-Man a little bit. And it looks like. And then Treasure Code. There's gotta be wooden panels for PS5. I think someone said there is, yeah. You see wooden PS4s. There's gotta be one for PS5. Conan and Camia will get along. We should watch that movie, guys. That's giving Legend of Zelda a run for its money, right? This one looks cute too. You got Pirates Classic. I mean Chase. It sounds like classic. I was like, wait, Sid Meier's Pirates? No, it's Pirates Chase. So there's the games. What they look like on the Bally Astrocade. Wooden panels is the new PC case trend. Makes sense Sony would tap into it. Is it? That's kind of surprising, but cool. Do I want a Bally Astrocade? I would want one if somebody already... I mean, I could tinker with it. There's fixes you can do to fix the overheating issue, so... It could be fun to tinker with. I don't know how much enjoyment I would get out of playing it, you know? That's not Learning Company Treasure Cove at all. No, it's not. It's not Treasure Cove, period. It's Pirates Chase. Okay. So. Next one is the... Not the last one. Second to last one. The Philips CDI. I included this one. I know a lot of people know about it, but there's actually an interesting story behind the development, so I included it mostly for that reason. You could print it and make it the one Omnicore Astrocade in existence. Oh my god, I still could. I could. I don't know if I want to paint that wood paneling. Slap some water cooling on it, mayonnaise, thermal. No! But yes, this is the Philips CDI. Because of its status as a meme, it is one of the most famous failed consoles. It really does look like a VHS player. It was released in 1990, and it had some licensed titles like Zelda and Mario. CDI Amiya is not coming out, you guys. That you are all probably familiar with. It featured a custom 16-bit CPU, which is what allowed it to play the various types of media that were able to be played on it. And uniquely, it had the ability of displaying photos and graphics via music CDs. And it also had a specific proprietary like photo CD format as well that can be played on it. Yeah, hold on. You guys are lucky I love ya. Alright, so she's not alive. I'm puppeting her body. Okay. I just kept it. It was another one of those strange gray area multimedia consoles. You wrote Bucko into the script. You guys, I tried to write Bucks so many times in this presentation. I wrote Bucko every single time. Every single time. I wrote Bucko every single time. So, yeah. Multimedia console. That game companies seem to be obsessed with these in the 90s. Having the idea of having a console that played multiple things. It cannot just be a game console. It has to also be a CD player and a movie player. It has to have digital books and movies, encyclopedias, and I'm surprised so many companies seem to have tried this because it doesn't seem like, aside from home computers, it doesn't really seem like there is a model of success for these multimedia systems. So the marketing for it, again, with most of the ones that tried to do more than one thing, was a bit muddled. It seemed this was a conscious effort, as far as Philips touts, because they were trying to, at this point, they were trying to avoid competing directly with Nintendo and Sega, because at this point, Nintendo and Sega highly established their monoliths, right? The Sega Genesis and SNES. So they had to find some way to set it apart. So this was a conscious marketing decision from them to try and market it as a multimedia thing rather than just a game console. And these features also fetched it an extra few buckles. I literally have written here. I didn't notice this one. I thought I took all the buckles out. It fetched an extra few buckles on the price tag. Initially, it was retailing for $199, so more expensive than its Sega and Nintendo counterparts. Imagine going from a few megabytes to 700 megabyte on a flat frisbee. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, it's cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. First multimedia system to succeed was the PS2. But that had multimedia as a secondary feature, and it wasn't really marketed so much as a multimedia. But yeah, the DVD player. But even then, it was only 2 things. They're not trying to do like 5 things. The buckle stuck in. You'll never catch us all. No, you're right. And I don't want to. Wait, no, I do want to. I want to catch you all. I want to eat you. I mean, I'm a teacher. I'm a substitute teacher, Ami. I'm not regular, Ami. Yeah, and PS1 could play music CDs, so, it's not entirely unfamiliar, but some of these were really trying to do too many things. So, yeah, it was quite an expensive one. Writing O's in the script when teacher Ami was away, no, I did that myself. They wanted to combine a VHS player, CD player, and a game console to make it a god device. Yeah, and really, a lot of times these extra features just added on too much to the cost. So, and it causes problems with marketing, right? They're not sure who to market it to, what to market it as. They're not sure who their target customer is. Even Nintendo went with the entertainment system naming over lingering effects of the game crash. Yeah, so I'll describe that in a minute, but the bottom left CDI looks so chonky and robust, so that is not a CDI. That's where this gets interesting. The CDI had some snags in its early development, which I hesitate to say doomed it to failure, but it certainly would not have been a smooth road to success if they did manage to get on that road. So initially, Sony and Nintendo had partnered to make a CD attachment for the SNES. So that's what this kind of chonky thing right here is. So, it was going to be called the Super NES CD-ROM. And Nintendo, in the development of this, in their partnership with Sony, they did not like how much control Sony was trying to have over the licensing of the CD games. And Nintendo actually, a day after Sony announced that they would be collaborating with Nintendo, you wanna know what Nintendo did? The next day, they went and announced their partnership with Philips. Announced that the day after. Humiliate Sony. But regardless, oh, and this leaded to the development and eventual creation of the PlayStation. But regardless, Nintendo worked with Philips to develop an add-on for the SNES, which never ended up being completed, never ended up being released. But another part of that deal, the part where Nintendo had to license out some of their IP to Philips, did happen. So Philips went on to make their own console, the Philips CDI, and that's how we have games like the Zelda CDI games, Hotel Mario, things like that, which despite using Nintendo IP, barely had any involvement from Nintendo. So the domino effect created by this console might be one of the most significant ones in gaming history. It's pretty cool. But remember that weird Sony Nintendo prototype system thing? This is related, I guess. This is it. That's it. When you announce your partner for the group project, but then they say they got someone else right in front of the class. Aw, poor Sony. Yeah, a lot of drama in the gaming industry, but people are mostly familiar with the games, right? You guys all know CDI, Zelda, and stuff. So I'm going to show you some of the CDI's other capabilities, and we're going to look at an interactive encyclopedia that was released for the system. I thought it looked different. I trust you, though. I mean, there may have been other, you know, mock-ups done. But this is that project, yeah.
Tower clear.
So this is a little encyclopedia. You can watch some videos, you can read some stuff.
Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading.
See, I already didn't teach you. It was still me. I'm puppeting her. So here's a launch of a rocket of sorts. The episode of Star Trek. I'm just kidding.
Forward, drift into the right level.
And then
United States astronaut Neil Armstrong became the
all
first
kinds of different stuff on this. You can look up different things.
There you go.
And read about them.
Oh, I think that means we've got pictures.
Cat.
Cats, domestic and wild, share the same basic anatomy, but come in an array of colors, shapes, and sizes. The ongoing relationship between humans and domestic cats has had its ups and downs. Cats were worshipped in ancient Egypt, but fell from grace in Europe during the Middle Ages and became objects of superstition. The natural hunting skills of cats helped them regain acceptance as they helped control the growing rodent problem in the 17th century. Today, more than 30 million cats are welcomed as members of U.S. households. And the Japanese beckoning cat is a symbol of good luck in business.
Beckoning cat. But of course.
Okay, we found out about cats. But
I love it.
We need to do something. We need to find out something a bit more exciting, don't we? Oh, fact index. Here
More
we go.
exciting than cats? Screw you, dude. Cute. 30 million freaking kitties, baby, and I'm one of them. Yeah, we better hope cats never team up and try and take over. You know, the substitute teacher is kind of a cat freak. Meow. Meow. Teacher Amy puts the CRT TV on the cart, but instead VHS player, she has a Philips CDI. Would have been kind of cool for schools, to be honest, but I don't know if that ever really happened. Alright, say goodbye to CDI Ami forever. Jewel, thank you for the super chat. I love the CDI Zeldas. Also, Ami Sensei, I tooted. Okay, just make sure you go to the bathroom if you need to, okay? You don't have to ask. Okay? Just go if you feel it coming. Say goodbye forever. Help me, help me. She's locked me in the basement. She's locked me in the basement. Help me, help me. Don't let her put me back. Don't let her... So, last but not least, we're gonna talk about the Atari Lynx. Another Atari system. You killed her. Good. About that counselor session? Yes, I'm the counselor. How would you like to address me? So,
Amiya Aranha.
the Sony says you saw our Super Boxy in different colors, but basically the same. Yeah, there might have been different designs, but Atari stinks gum! Did you include it because it's named after a cat? No. I included it because it's actually very, very impressive. And it's an example of, you know, better technology doesn't necessarily mean better, translate to better sales, better console. You know. Why does it have buttons around the speakers? Because just don't worry about it. Someone in your family have one? They're really, really cool. It's another Atari system, and this time it was their attempt at a handheld console. And actually, technologically, incredibly impressive at the time. It was the first handheld console with color LCD, and it was released in 1989. And it had very, very nice looking graphics, 16-bit graphics. But in that time, there were a few different markers of success for handheld consoles. So the first would be the price, right? They need to, it's a smaller, less powerful system than home consoles, so people expected a lower price point. Atari Lynx did not fulfill this, although the price, it probably did make sense for the level of technology and what the system was capable of, which is 16-bit color graphics, which would have been insane at the time, at 180 buckles. Is what I wrote when it's launched. Yeah, the button placement is kind of insane. I think, like the Wonder Swan, I think you actually use this vertically as well. Can anyone who have one confirm this? But, yeah, so, yeah, buckles times 180. Miniaturization is expensive, right, and it's also not necessarily good. I mean, having a big screen is not a problem, right? I think the screen was 3.5 inches, right? So, the next thing, typically you need for success, is portability. This is very important, and if it doesn't have a good battery life, then that's a problem, because you want to be able to bring it places. So similar to the Game Gear in that it required 6 AA batteries, which would get you around 4 hours of continuous gameplay, and this is compared to 12 hours for the Game Boy, which, you know, comparatively much less impressive, no color, but you could get, you know, 12 plus hours of gameplay on the 2 AA batteries that the Game Boy required. I think the original Game Boy required 4, and then Game Boy Pocket was 2, I believe. But, so in classic failed game console fashion, the competition was very stiff, and the pull of the Game Boy's longer battery life and the scare me. Car outside. Yeah. The pull of the Game Boy's longer battery life and lower price, despite it being much less impressive technologically, was too much. So eventually they decided to reduce support in favor of the Jaguar. So listen to this. This uses 6 AA batteries. So listen to this. They decided to pull out support for the Atari Lynx, and they said, we're going all in on the Jag. 6? Yeah, 6, which is not too crazy. I mean, the Game Gear also required 6 batteries at the time. So, yeah, it's a lot of batteries. It is. But the Game Boy was kind of an anomaly in the sense that it took less than that. So, yeah, we all know how the Jaguar went. We talked about it earlier. But let's take a look at how the games looked. So here's one of them, like a tank kind of game. Here, my man. Nothing in here, dude. The sucker eats batteries for breakfast. It does. Do batteries go on trees or something? I don't know, but I love batteries. I have lots of batteries. I always have batteries, but they were very expensive at this time, yeah. Not so much nowadays. You can get them at Costco and stuff. You can get cheap ones. Different brands. So how amazing does this look for a handheld console from 1989, by the way? It's full color, 16-bit graphics. The sound is really, really cool. Is this not like crazy? Looks great, sounds great. So again, a console can be really great, can be really cool, can be really have a lot put into it from a technology point of view, and just not be successful because sometimes you just don't understand what the market wants. Was it backlit? I don't believe the Lynx was backlit, no. This game was totally dog meow compared to today's standards. Yeah, dude, it was 1989. Of course. It would not look like this if you played outside, no. It would not. It was like 4 fun hours. Yeah, it would be fun. They do look like fun games, right? They're really cool. If they couldn't make it last 8 hours, look at this. Some kind of a puzzle game. Backlight would have sold 1 billion, maybe. But yeah, it looked a lot dimmer. Apparently, I mean, I think AVGN featured the Lynx in a video as well, and he showed footage of the screen being filmed. And apparently, you kind of have to hold it at a very specific angle to see it well, which, you know, it's not atypical of handheld of its contemporaries. Was this Alone in the Dark? What is this? Was there an Alone in the Dark port on Atari Lynx? Whoa! God, it looks so cool. That's crazy! Whoa. Oh, Dracula. But it eat batteries faster than the Game Boy? Yeah, and it took more. So, yeah, I did mention that. Cover said Dracula. Oh, me not paying attention again. That's Fat Bobby. I know that game is Fat Bobby. I didn't read it. I knew it. Yeah, I definitely want to do a Lynx grab bag stream at some point. That'd be great. Yeah, so you understand why it took batteries so quickly. They didn't market it right. They could have marketed 4-hour life as a built-in screen time limiter to the parents. True. I don't love the Lynx. I'm not sure how much they go for. The Lynx's big flex is the sprite scaling. I would say it's everything, but yeah, the fact that it has sprite scaling is insane. I can't stop looking. Amaki! No, they don't look bad at all. I'm sure they're great. Gauntlet? Ooh, I want to play Gauntlet soon, you guys. I'm just not sure which version I want to play. This is like 3D almost. Very, very impressive. They cooked, it's a classic they cooked too hard scenario, yeah. The Lynx wished it was the Wonder Swan. What do you mean? This is crazy impressive compared to the Wonder Swan. Definitely more powerful than the Game Gear, yeah. Last entire week, 80 minutes on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's all you need. Do these handhelds have plug-and-play stuff, or are you always stuck getting 6 batteries? I think they probably had an AC adapter. I'm pretty sure the Game Gear did at least. Probably would have been sold separately, but the Wonder Swan did have a canonical Digimon game on it. Yeah, and it had Klonoa as well, which is cool. But Game Gear did have an adapter. I do remember that because I had a Game Gear and I did not have the adapter, and I was very sad about that because it eats batteries like crazy. Oh, what happened to my? What happened to my boogum? Here it is. Pictures of lynxes like the cat. Occult class. So true. Hi guys. Let me look up if the Atari Lynx had a Game Gear adapter. I think there is a Lynx port for the analog pocket now. So I could play games FPGA. We could definitely have a stream for that. Hi, Ami Sensei here. Did you guys learn a lot during the class? What do you think? Yeah, and Game Gear is backwards compatible with Master System. Pretty cool. And then there's also Sega Nomad, which is very interesting. So many cool handheld things back in the day, but yeah, it was cool. Was it fun? Sorry. Should have promoted Lynx directly to the battery companies. Yeah, really. I'm not ready to release my own failed console. Get on Kickstarter. Kickstarter, you guys. Do you guys have any you wanted me to look into, or if I know anything about it, I can tell you. There's no test. Cool presentation, yay! Thank you. You guys made time for this one, yay! Thank you. I'm glad too. Thank you guys so much for coming and for giving me your attention. At least nowadays, there's an adapter for the Atari Lynx. I don't know if there was one released at the time, but you can get it now. Grush? A console called a Grush? You've not watched a lot of Digimon, but you've seen the Wonder Swan protagonist. The Wonder Swan. Go look at it right now. Have I? I saw a Digimon movie. Oh, okay. If he shows up in the movie, then yeah, I definitely saw it. The Laserdisc one was cool. Yes, that is the Pioneer. What is it called? Laser Active. What am I gonna look up? Grush. Which I want to talk about in another stream. Grush one. Okay, I see a crystal clear. What is this? I'm not finding any results for Grush console. Is Mondo and Engage? We need part 2 stream. I'm gonna talk about them in different streams with different topics. Wait, gaming toothbrush? Oh, okay, Grush. I Google Grush console, so make brushing fun. Grush, the gaming toothbrush for kids. Action! Take. All right, child.
25,000.
Shush. Okay, so it is a toothbrush that has an app.
Click open.
Has actually multiple apps associated with it for your iPad or I guess phone or whatever. Hold on, I'll get you guys a picture. That I guess would assist you in brushing your teeth. Fascinating. Or would assist the child in brushing their teeth. Yeah. This looks like that one cat, Tom. I think his name is. John Zero, thank you for the 20 months. Consoles like Lynx Jaguar are great, but when we get a console like Spydor 64, that's what I'm wondering. It better print stickers, you know. If someone wants to design that, make sure. Print stickers. So here's the Grush. What an awful name for a thing you put in your mouth. The crave gamified hygiene. It didn't reach its goal on Indiegogo. Oh, that's sad. All the topics you come up with, never knew about some of these. Yeah. Yeah, is that not like Tom the Cat or whatever? That's scary. I don't like that. Not the screenshot you've chosen to market this. The other ones are no better, you know. There's one that is a castle with teeth that you can brush the castle's teeth. Would you guys prefer that one? Yeah, literally YouTube kids section is like that. So they spent $20 on some better art. Bazinga! Yeah, it's probably for the best. Modern electric brushes also already basically have apps like that, do they? But they're not a game, though. It's gotta be a game. What in God's name is this? Why is there a little wizard? Why can you brush the castle's teeth? And what is this? A pig? Bring back the cat, I know, right? The freaking plot, guys. What's this? Oh, pancake. With maple syrup and butter. Love it. I'm in my like screenshot folder right now. No wait, this is my trench broom assets folder somehow. Somehow I have something saving to here. So what we got in here? I got shake and bake. I got shake and bake. I got wines. Which we actually use in trench broom. I don't know how this happened. is bear. That is me. Does the castle eat us to go inside? Does it have organs in each room? I'm so curious and scared. Don't be curious. Only I can eat you. I got Betty Crocker, Bacon Phil. What is this? Our regular teacher never shows us their photos, right? Right? I know. Let's see here. I got... What's this? Cheesecake? Pancake? Cheesecake? I got... Cutter's abs. No, tummy references are on my other PC. Oh my god, you guys, I have a story to tell about the tummy references. Okay, so, we have this epic, oh yeah, that was the cornbread cake, right? We have this epic, Cool Ranch Dorito that I found. Google. Not my photo, my hand. We have peanut butter in a, like a little, like, foam tray. No, I didn't show Lumi, but you guys, I realized the freaking thumbnail, the freaking thumbnail for the, yeah, send me a corn cake recipe. The freaking thumbnail for the preview for the link that I sent to her is cached with the pictures of the tummy. This is the first thing in the document. So the whole entire preview is just tummy. So you probably saw it and then clicked on it and was like, where was that? Oh god. You see what my life is like. They will be able to perfectly comprehend what they need to do from a glance. It's not Lumi don't do anything with it. Don't say she knows. Oh my god, Omaroka. Oh my god. And the bird lady from Kiki's delivery service. Whoop whoop. She knows you hit the tummy. Yeah, I clickbaited her. Yeah, it's a good tactic. And yeah, that's where it all is, baby. It's all happening in the Trench Broom Textures folder. My life is tummy. I cannot ask you. Tummy. I'm hungry. Oh, that presentation didn't go the whole 3 hours, which is nice. Hear my voice a little bit, you know. You don't have to keep constantly talking. Wow. That was 90s food. Checks out. True. What about this? Oh, 90% food. What about this? Make an ice cream sandwich with Monday bad boys. There's so many bears, I realize. You know? These random images that I have. Precious and adorable Ami cat you drew today. Oh yeah, you guys want to see the Ami cat? There's one from today and there's one from yesterday. Which console failed the worst? I mean, maybe the Apple Pippin, because like nobody knows about it. But realistically, probably the Loopy. I've never seen a shaved bear. Do I want to? I don't always have it just off screen, but I have for the past like week. Those are great, but one day they just didn't hit with you anymore. Bear paws, that's why you gotta make the ice cream sandwich. Yeah, I can show you guys both. Okay, here we got the Stretch It Ami cat. Thought you had deleted after yesterday? No, I need that quick access, you know. And then big stretch. I mean, when you scratch your lower back for sure. And then there's this one. Very adorable. I'm very proud of this one. I drew last night. You like the halfway the chibi gremlin style is stretching on me too? Yeah, it's kind of like halfway there. Living on a prayer, you know. And there's this one, which is Ami cat after she gets a hold of your work shirt, and you're also tie, and then she makes it all stinky, and then you can wear it. You can't go to work the next day, And you guys stay home and play with Amiya instead. Doing laundry, for some reason, not an option. Okay. Yeah, the finished eyes add a really cool effect to this, I think. The floofy hair! Is that the tie you're wearing right now? No, it doesn't stink. Guess you have to work from home today and play with Amiya. So yeah, I'd always you have to clean your tie. I'm not giving it back. No. It's full of my fur now. Dangerous? Why? Is it the tie I'm wearing right now? Who knows? Who knows? You always work from home. Well, your Zoom meeting, you know, or whatever that you need a shirt for, you don't have it. There's so many features and details you love on that one. Yeah, I'm very proud of how it turned out. Amiya definitely chewed on a tie. Definitely. Zoom meeting. Oh. Sensei made it to work. It's true. But this color is complicated. I've Zoom eated on stream even. See you, Chrome. Amiya being extra cute because there's so many broken things in the next room. Don't look in the next room. Look over here. Oh, your computer chair. Scratched up. I don't know what happened. Your computer chair scratched up because you weren't here and I was angry about it. That doesn't sound like it's true. Doesn't sound like. Hug! Amiya, I'm in a meeting. Get your butt off the webcam. Yo. I live here. I live here, not your coworkers. Amiya at your homework. That's not what she would do. Weird topic shift. I'm not a cat. Looks at scratch-free scrap post. What am I, an animal? Amiya gets the zoomies every time you have a Zoom meeting. Yeah. Yeah, I do. But I'm a teacher. I'm not a cat. I'm a professional at that. Professional teacher. Okay, so Your Honor, I assure you, I'm not a cat. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not a cat. Bashful, but I'm not bashful. So call me a cat. Teach us something we don't know. Hold on. Stop real quick. Now where is this? Oh, my headdress is on. That's not supposed to happen. Hold on. What if I were to become a... where is it? What if I were to become... where is it? Oh, it's this. Okay. Here's something you don't know. You have detention. Yeah. Amiya Sensei gets home, takes off the tie, and does the Amiya stretch. Oh. That's a detention. That's a detention. With who? With, Lawyer Lami. Yeah, you better be sorry. To get a Van Halen, that's a detention. And also try me. You get a second job or something? Yeah, he's a hall monitor. I'm cute. That's a detention. Simpsons reference? That's a detention. Lem is back too. Amy, I don't know why I have things, you know, mapped to. Don't pay attention to classes. Distracted thinking of my cute spider cat who I left home all alone. That's a detention. Don't leave you never leave your spider cat alone. She doesn't like being alone. This cruel and unusual punishment. Talking back. That's a detention. Have some grapes. That's a detention. You think I would eat grapes instead of a buckle? They look just like buckles. I'm not trying to make the buckles jealous. I'm using those as large for a VTuber and easily discernible. That's right. That's true. Your chair's been creaking like crazy lately. That's your fault, and that's a detention because you broke my chair. How long do these detentions last, Miss Ami? My spider cat is very needy. Approximately an hour. Delinquent bucko! Thank you for the donation. Accept this bribe to dismiss everyone but me from detention. That's a detention. Trying to bribe the teach? That's a detention. With everyone packed in like sardines. She gets close and the tastiness of the buckles makes the tongue act on its own. You hit my drawing pen. My tablet pen. Is it my tablet pen? That's a detention. You're on detention now, packed in like sardines. It sucks, doesn't it? That's what happens when you defy Ami-sensei. Oh my god. Pick up. Packed like buckles in a locker. Everyone in class is so bad you can't fault me for sleeping through class. But wouldn't that be entertaining if all the students are bad? Pie with not money, but how about this apple pie? I will accept the apple pie, but that's still detention. Fine. I'm sorry. I'm sounding like Larry Lammy all of a sudden. Laughing at my hiccups, that's a detention. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out today. I hope you learned something. And, paddle in the school canoe? That's paddling. I know, bird. Altering the Department of Education computers to give a district another 0 in the budget. That's a paddle. Not a paddling, sorry. That's detention. I'm glad you guys learned something. Thank ya. You want to learn, so no detention for you, thanks. That's detention, wanting to learn. Oh boy. Thanks for the edutainment, you cool, adorable, cool lady. Thank you. I mean, yeah, you're welcome. This outfit suits me out. Oh, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. That's a wedgie. No, I won't get wedgies, but I will turn my head while you give each other wedgies. I will turn the blind eye. Yeah, you guys like it? Should I wear it for presentations from now on when Ami-sensei comes around? You get full score. Yay! Filling a paper airplane with a note that reads, Lumi, show us the thumbnail. No, she will not. Be neutral on learning. Engine. Yeah? Okay. I want to try and make some changes to it. Like, I want to see if I can change this book to a clipboard. And, like, fix the shadow. And I also want to see if I can maybe take off the tie and exchange it for some buttons. Because I did take off the tie, but there's nothing underneath. Like, there's no buttons. So, yeah, clipboard and then maybe just buttons instead of the tie. And then I'll add my, my corset piercings to the legs as well. Because right now it's, you know... It's just not quite Ami without them now, is it? I think they are magic ritual books. Yeah, I think this is maybe some kind of like student outfit actually, but it's the closest thing I could find to like academic thing that was not a bow would be cute. Yeah, I could do a bow. You know, the closest thing to something academic that was not like you know, sexy teacher Halloween costume. Did you shave your piercings out? I just took them off for today. Magical alternate universe with Ami with no piercings. No, it's not. I have them. I just took them out because I'm a teacher. Yeah, freaking Party City teacher costume. Just buckles all over the tie would fit. I remember teachers who just oh, cute! Yeah. Yeah, can you actually get the piercings in there? And yeah, I can add them. I've added them to other outfits before. Like, check out this outfit. It's going to look like a disembodied body. So just don't be alarmed, okay? But, hold on. Oh my god. Show you guys. I added one with the bear. Well, I added to the Sims actually. Don't freak out. It's not skeletons, it's just my outfits, but this is just how it has to be, okay, guys? I didn't put it on the thigh, but I put it on the... Here. See? See, I mean, this new body in the basement. It's my body. It's just... yeah, so I add them. You can like add them to the texture sheet. So depending on the I'm not Abdullahan. Depending on the like small head, big shoulders on me. Giant body with the tiny head. Wait. Oh no! God. No! That was the wrong outfit to choose. Okay, hold on. At least it was not attached to me this time. Let's do this one. Very modest, you know. Letting the days go by. Hold on. Letting the days go by. Letting the water hold me down. Water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money gone. Once in a life. I mean, it is my body, but that part was not my body. Water flowing underground. Anybody find yourself in a beautiful house? You might ask yourself, where is my beautiful house? What have I done? I can't remember the words. I can't remember how close. Even I literally sung that for... Am I not turtly enough for the turdy club? Turdy? Am I not turtly enough for the turtle club? Turtle. Oh boy. Turdy club, eh? I knew it was like the Mario movie Goomba. Enough. Alright guys. That's enough for today. What did you say? Alright, class. Let's finish it up here. I know it's a little bit short, but you know, my throat hurts and I'm hungry, so why not? I also streamed for a long time yesterday, so it evens out. I don't know if I got much more to say, but you forgot about the cat girl. Almost forgot about the cat girl body. Forget it. Forget about it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming and for giving me your attention today. Thank you to all my regulars and irregulars and everyone who stopped by for the first time. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you so much to all the VOD watchers and VOD commenters and the chatters and lurkers. Thank you very much to all my dream weavers and buckles, spider links, and everybody who donated and renewed their memberships today. And I appreciate that. The end. I will see you. Isn't it cute the way? Yeah, I love the movement. I will see you guys tomorrow for I think it is Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit version. Okay. Thank you. It's Amiya. Yes, Amiya. Bye bye.